Join me in just 1 second, and the baseball in a moment. First, on behalf of all of us at ESPN, we want to express our deep concerns for the residents of Texas dealing with the devastating effects of Hurricane Harvey. We recognize that Lufkin, Texas, located about 120 miles northeast of Houston, is now a place of refuge for those seeking shelter from the rising waters and the floods. And here in Williamsport, as Lufkin Little Leaguers get set to take on Japan for the Little League World Series Championship, as big as that sounds, we recognize it pales in comparison to what you all are dealing with back home. Now, as we get set for the first pitch, we hope you can enjoy one pitch, one inning, or perhaps the entire game. The Little League World Series between Texas and Japan starts now. That ball is driven to left. 1-0 Japan. What an at-bat for Keitaro Miyahara. A bomb off the light tower out there. He's gone, man. That's a big strikeout. That one is to deep center field, and it is over the wall. Kitasuna does it again. Center field, deep. It's gone. Wow, was that a home run? Are we back to back to back? We are. 2-2 left field. Texas is on top as Ricketta goes deep.
We're now champions of Little League Baseball in the United States.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone to our coverage, ABC's This Little League World Series. It's presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. And today Texas takes on Japan. It's for the World Championship. And of course the folks started arriving early and their TVs have been tuned to ABC for a little while, getting set for this showdown featuring this now only 7-year-old Lufkin Little League against a team from Japan that has a world of experience when it comes to winning championships. They will be after their 4th today. Sunshine, and it is a beautiful day for a baseball game. We'll hear from Julie Foudy, Sebastian Salazar in just 1 minute. Here's Aaron, and there's Kyle, and I'm Carl. Welcome again. Yesterday, what a comeback, showing the resiliency that perhaps Texas is now going to know itself for. They came from a 5-0 deficit to get into this championship game.
What a performance it was, Carl. And without their top 2 pitchers available today, they know they're going to have to swing the bats if they're going to have a chance against Japan. Fortunately, they can really swing the bats, and they've been led of recent by Mark Ricketta, who had 3 hits in that championship game yesterday against North Carolina. A single, a double, and then the deciding blow. A home run the opposite field that capped that awesome comeback and allowed them the opportunity to play against an awesome team from Japan.
No doubt about it. Every time you round third, you give a high five to the manager. He has made quite a name for himself, and with more on that, Rowdy Foudy, Julie Foudy.
He sure has indeed. Bud Maddox is pure old school. He's been coaching youth baseball for over 40 years, but he has never been to a Little League World Series, and he's won at every level. And I said, Bud, how does this one rate up there? And he said, nothing compares. Well, his players would agree that nothing compares with Bud Maddox. They love him, and we all think we just can't get enough of Bud.
Why don't you join the Army, Coach Bud?
They wouldn't let me. They wanted people that was smart. Get on the base. I dang don't walk over here to talk to me, boy, when they hit the ball. I understand they say hit. Half the time I'm trying to stop them, they keep running. Malcolm, go down and warm up.
I need to pee, Coach. Tonight, may we have the TV on for a little bit longer so I can see if I made top 10?
We'll see. We need 2 runs right here. Hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's 2 runs. Get as many as we can. We got to have 2. We're going to win this baseball game.
Yes, sir.
And a baby! And a baby! The United States champion! When they come in and get it done, the United States champion! God almighty! I'm about to cry right now. I'm so happy.
And in old school style, I said, Bud hasn't been letting his boys get in the pool all week. I said, I heard you're going to let them get in that pool. He said, I'm going to lead the charge. I said, what are you going to do, a cannonball? He said, no, I hope I just don't get in there and sink.
All right, Julie, thank you. I think we all sort of welled up with tears listening to the joy Bud Maddox's voice after they won yesterday, and imagine what would happen today. But boy, this is brutal. You're looking at a team, Kitasuna Little League, so imagine your Little League at home having won 3 world championships. They've done that. Yeah, you're looking at them right here, and that's exactly what this Little League from Tokyo has done. Kitasuna has been incredibly consistent here at the Little League World Series, just like this country of Japan has been. They've won it 3 times, and it hasn't been all that long since they won their first, and they are no stranger to this game at all. When you look at Japan all the way through this Little League World Series, remember a few things. One, they're the only team that hasn't lost, and a big part of that is just the consistency that starts on the mound. They've allowed 1 run in 4 games, and it's numerous guys that they've sent out to the mound. The offense has started coming around, specifically in the last few. 27-1. They have outscored their opponents, and the power has come in the last 2 games. But the defensive efficiency is unmatched at this Little League World Series. They have yet to make an error, and that consistency is what makes them so good. For more on Japan, here's Sebastian Salazar.
Guys, I got the Kitasuna friends and family behind me. You can trust they are ready for this. But you know, all week people have been asking, how is it that this Japanese team is so fundamentally sound? The answer is obvious. They just practice more than everybody else. We'll go into their practice schedule a little bit later on in the show, but what impresses me the most is what they do on game days. I'll give you an example. Earlier in this tournament, the morning of their game against Canada, they practiced for 4 hours and still had enough gas left in the tank to pick up the win. They were on the practice field today at 9 a.m. I was down there with them, and it wasn't some light, breezy walkthrough. There was intense fielding drills, extended BP, even, guys, some light conditioning. And a lot of people out there might say, boy, that's a lot for 12 and 13-year-old boys. But compared to their usual practice schedule, 4 hours of practice in a game is a piece of cake. It's a walk in the park for these kids from Kitasuna, guys.
No doubt about it, and the significant difference between Japan and everybody else, everyone else hopes and dreams to get here. Japan, when they start their Little League season, they expect to get here. Gabe Sinacropi now introduces us to the teams and the umpires.
Now let's meet the umpires for today's World Series Championship game. Behind home plate from Oceanside, California, Christopher Rutz. At first base from Humago, Puerto Rico, Edwin Carrasquillo. From Auburn, Indiana, at second base, Austin Riggleman. From Purcellville, Virginia, at third base, Randall Kushner. From East Brunswick, New Jersey, in left field, Robert Ciriello. In right field, from St. Petersburg, Florida, Michael McCullough. Now, let's meet the teams. First for the visitors from the Southwest, represented by the Lufkin Little League, Lufkin, Texas. The catcher, number 19, Chandler Spencer. Number 2, Malcolm Deason. Number 16, Hunter Ditzworth. Number 17, Colin Ross. Number 15, Mark Rickenna. Number 21, Chip Buchanan. Number 13, Christian Mumfree. Number 14, Blake Slaga. Number 7, Colby Kovar. Number 18, Lance Modisette. Number 10, Charlie Deaton. Number 5, Zach Phipps. Number 12, Clayton Wrigley. The Southwest is managed by Bud Maddox. Coaches Malcolm Deason. And Ryan Deaton. District Administrator Michael Farrell, League President Casey Bowers. Now for today's home team from Japan, represented by the Tokyo Kitasuna Little League, Tokyo, Japan. Number 10, Keitaro Miyahara. Number 4, Rusei Fujiwara. Number 14, Seiya Arai. Number 20, Natsuki Najima. Number 3, Ryota Ono. Number 15, Yuya Nakajima. Number 1, Tsubasa Tomii. Number 8, Kazuki Watanabe. Number 7, Rei Ichisawa. Number 18, Riku Goto. Number 19, Ryuto Kono. Number 5, Ryuto Inoue. Number 13, Daisuke Hashimoto. Number 2, Takuma Kashiwagura. Japan is managed by Junji Hidaka. Coaches, Keiichiro Kubo. And Masanori Takeda. District Administrator Steve Mita, League President Katsuhiko Miyakawa.
Maine and Will, New York, they did it last year. Is the United States ready to go back-to-back, or will this Kitasuna Little League win an unprecedented 4th title? Our first pitch when we come back.
And the lane.
Shop LittleLeagueStore.net for all your Little League World Series official merchandise. Be a part of the excitement and gear up with Little League World Series collectible jerseys, caps, and a whole lot more. Shop now at LittleLeagueStore.net.
Area codes and climates. These kids couldn't be more different. But when you're talking base paths and pitcher's mounds, batter's boxes and strike zones, then they're all the same and close to home. When on a baseball field, anywhere in the world.
Introducing Little League University, an essential online tool to prepare coaches, umpires, parents, and everyone involved with Little League baseball and softball for a winning experience on and off the field. Register for free at littleleagueu.org.
This is Axe Body Spray. Use it to stay fresh all day. And this is Axe Dry Spray. Use it to stay dry for 48 hours. Why are you touching your armpit?
I was just checking to see if it was dry.
Don't. That's weird. Smell great and stay dry with Axe.
Is that my trout?
You guys going to the game?
Yeah!
Room for one more? You sure this is the way to the game?
It's a shortcut.
I guess I get warmed up.
Land Rover is a proud sponsor of baseball on ESPN.
Presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, supporting youth sports in our community since 1948. The Little League World Series on ABC is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, supporting youth sports in our community since 1948.
Get ready! The next Little League season is starting soon, but you can't play unless you're on the team. Now, finding your town's league is just a click away. To register or start a league, go to playlittleleague.org.
Yo! We making our own way!
Many teams have started to change their names.
Check these out.
Too busy making my own wave. I ain't riding no waves. Too busy making my own wave, baby. Surfing on my own wave, baby. Surfing on my own wave. Too busy making my own wave. I ain't riding no wave.
We asked premium vehicle owners to judge 3 premium sedans, not knowing the brands.
It is quite responsive, intuitive.
High quality craftsmanship.
The stitching adds a level of refinement. I like the aggressive sculptural lines.
Wow.
I've always trusted Mazda.
I like driving this car the best.
Discover a smarter premium at the Driver's Choice event.
Now get 0% financing and 1,000 APR cash plus no payments for 90 days for all new 2017 Mazda sedans.
Hello, Discover Card.
Hi, can you tell me about these new Social Security alerts I keep hearing about?
Sure, just sign up online. Then we'll alert you if we find your Social Security number on any one of thousands of risky websites.
Wow, that's cool. How much is it?
Oh, it's free if you have a Discover Card.
I like free.
Yeah, we just want you to be in the know.
Oh, hey, sushi. Oh, I smell it.
You're making me...
Yeah, being in the know is a good thing.
Know if your Social Security number is found on risky sites. Free from Discover.
The Little League World Series on ABC is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, supporting youth sports in our community since 1948.
We're back, and once again, you look down at Lamade Stadium, the 71st edition of this Little League World Series, and Texas and Japan get set to play for the entire ball of wax as Texas seeks its 3rd Little League World Series title. The other two, 1950, the National Little League out of Texas took care of Connecticut, and in 1966, the Westbury Little Leaguers out of Texas beat New Jersey. Sports code on the old coach never goes out of style. Love that, love that. There they are, wearing the orange, and again, mentioned they're about 130 miles, 116, depending on where you are in Lufkin, northeast of Houston. And again, we cannot reiterate, we are so aware of what's gone on in that city and all the devastation that they are dealing with. They rode to the championship, they beat Michigan, they lost to Carolina, and then they came back and beat them yesterday. You could certainly make the case those were the 2 best Little League games that we have seen all week. Greg Abbott's dealing with so much. He did have time to reach out and offer his Thundering 13 support. So did Des Bryant. Brandon Belt, a San Francisco Giant first baseman who goes back and plays in some alumni games for this Little League. And the police getting into it, as are some of the churches in Lufkin, congratulating the Thundering 13. And that's what this team is known as. And they may know that their odds are stacked against him. I don't think this team is going to be affected or rattled by that one bit.
We saw that yesterday. Down 5-0, came back 2 runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th to get to this point.
This is 5'1", 100-pounder Tsubasa Tomi on the mound. First pitch driven to center field, and it's deep, and it is gone. What a start for Chandler Spencer in Texas. Oh my goodness.
Greetings. It was Chandler Spencer last game that we talked about. Had so many good swings, just missing some pitches. He got under a number, just missing a home run like this. Well, he doesn't miss this one. It's up around the letters, and he shows off that awesome power, wasting no time jumping on that first pitch and dealing a blow here early for Lufkin, Texas.
What a start, and for Tomi and Japan, they don't give up runs. Kyle talked about it. In fact, they hadn't had a runner reach third base in the last 16 innings, let alone hitting a home run.
One thing to keep an eye on here with Tomii early, outstanding control on the mound. They will test to see how far Christopher Rutz, the home plate umpire, will give them off the edge.
Back up here off the bat of Malcolm Deason, the dynamite second baseman who has shown feet similar to some of the great major leaguers. Not sure you had that footwork by people like Omar Vizquel or Ozzie Smith or Derek Jeter when they were 12 years old. This guy can flat out dance on a baseball field. Swings and misses at that one, and Deason is retired.
We've seen already with Tomii today the ability to throw strikes, but can you start a ball game better than this? First pitch, no doubter. Everybody on their feet in a spot that Chandler Spencer will never forget.
It's a high five from Ryusei Fujiwara there at second base. It's happened all week. Tremendous displays of sportsmanship here at the Little League World Series. And you got Chandler Spencer popped one up to shortstop yesterday that stayed up there for a half hour. And then he hit one to right field that was just miss a home run.
And you see him right away. Catcher's gear on, understanding the important role he'll play today defensively. A very serious guy, one of the leaders. Hunter Ditzworth now, a lot of power himself. Perhaps their best pitcher.
2-0, and they're coming inside. 3-0. Deason and Ditzworth, the two power guys on this team. You could certainly throw Spencer in that mix. And a guy that starts the game on the bench, Clayton Wigley, has got 2 homers off the bench. The Wiggles came through for this team from Texas a couple of times already. One strike. There's our guy.
Wiggles.
This one is to right. If it's fair, it may go. Home run. Ditzworth, 2-0 Texas.
Well, Ditzworth hit one of the longest home runs in the Little League World Series earlier last week, as he almost hit it over the hill in left center. This time he shows you good power the other way as Tomii goes to that outside corner again, and he just slices it inside the foul pole down there in right field.
Look at his brother
Lufkin, there. Yes. We're used to seeing his brother going crazy when he's on the mound striking guys out. Now he gets to celebrate that power at the plate. Wow.
So a shocking start for Japan. They allowed 1 run in the first 23 innings here, and now 2 in this game.
And then not allowed a home run.
No. And this is really their home run hitter. Colin Ross, the third baseman, already 3 at the Little League World Series. Swings and misses at that. So Tomi'i in some trouble here, and immediately some activity in that bullpen. Ryota Kono warming up for Japan. It's a filthy pitch when it's right, and Ross is gone.
It's what he's trying to do right there, is get ahead and then expand that zone with that breaking ball. That out of his hand looks like a fastball on the outside part of the plate, but then the break takes it right as it gets towards home plate. So this is how good they had been. 23 innings, just 13 hits, and ERA well below 1. And today, 2 solo home runs, first 3 hitters of the ball game.
Called strike to the guy that's been as hot as anybody. Mark McKenna put his team ahead with a 2-run shot yesterday in the 6th inning. Swings and misses at that. McKenna, I'm not sure he was up last night watching, but this is the guy that took up boxing to get himself in great shape. Was a big McGregor fan last night. And 1 and 2, and that's something that we've seen all week, and in fact over the years from Japan. You watch that catcher when they get ahead 0-2, 1-2, he will go to the other batter's box and stand behind it just to see if the hitter will swing. He does here on the ground throw to first, and McKenna is out at first.
Job well done down there at third base by Ichisawa. And right away, coach giving instructions, Tomi'i giving him some encouragement as they are up against it now. The power of Texas comes out swinging. Spencer to straightaway center, and Ditzworth to the opposite field. Slices one just inside that foul pole. Texas 2. Japan coming up.
We asked premium vehicle owners to judge 3 premium SUVs, not knowing the brands.
Nice and responsive.
The leather, the material, feels very well crafted.
This one is by far my favorite. I really like the bold lines.
Mazda. I did not expect that.
This is the one that I would want to drive every day.
Discover a smarter premium at the Driver's Choice event.
Now get 0% financing plus no payments for 90 days on all new 2017 Mazda CUVs.
Hello, Discover Card. Hi, can you tell me about these new Social Security alerts I keep hearing about? Sure, just sign up online. Then we'll alert you if we find your Social Security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. Wow, that's cool. How much is it? Oh, it's free if you have a Discover Card. I like free. Yeah, we just want you to be in the know. Oh, hey, sushi. Oh, I smell it. You're making me. Yeah, being in the know is a good thing.
Know if your Social Security number is found on risky sites. Free from Discover.
You can tell just by the buildings and the people and the array of colors, the seafood that gets fried every now and then on the walk. You cannot find a baseball field, but this Kitasuna Little League does have a baseball field. It's a unique situation. Way back in the late 70s, they discovered an empty field on the grounds of a company headquarters. And as you take a look at the road to the championship, the most Little League World Series titles by a league, this Kitasuna Little League has 3 of them. They try to separate themselves from Seoul. So a couple of guys back in 1978 find this field on these companies' headquarters, and they literally go in there with some rakes and they start fixing the field up. And lo and behold, the company owner come out and said, "What are you doing? This is my field." As you take a look at some of the vital statistics from Tokyo, Japan, they were convinced, the owners of the company, to say, we want to go to Williamsport. baseball. We see this beautiful stadium in Pennsylvania, and there's this World Series. We want to become a part of it. And the owner of the company was gracious enough to let these guys basically take ownership of the field. You take a look at the manager, Junji Hidaka. So they have the facilities every weekend, about 11 months out of the year, Saturday and Sunday, to go over there and use that field. And that is a unique advantage that they have, this Kitasuna Little League, over others in Japan. 3:30 Eastern Time here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Good news is many of the family members are here because it's 2:30 in Lufkin, Texas. It's 4:30 a.m. Monday. We're getting set for a work week in Tokyo, Japan. And the other part of what's going on in Japan right now is they have their high school baseball tournaments. And in Japan, high school baseball, especially the tournaments, are like, imagine your own state, Ohio, Pennsylvania, playing their football championships. That's how big it is. It takes over the country, the high school.
So the timing right now is perfect, Carl. 4:30 a.m. We got early wake-up call into the work week, and then little high school tournaments.
See if we can celebrate a championship. Let's go down to Sebastian.
Guys, you are looking at a Daruma doll in the Japanese dugout. It's a symbol of good luck. It's also very fragile. Keitaro Miyahara's dad, Yoichi, had to bring it on the airplane as his carry-on just so it wouldn't break. You will also notice the doll is missing an eye. That's on purpose. The kids from Kitasuna will draw the second eye in when and only when they win the Little League World Series Championship.
We'll hear from more from Sebastian as well as Julie Foudy as you take a look at Chip Buchanan on the mound. And hey, you'll take a 2-0 lead if you can get it.
Yeah, absolutely, and he knows his mound pretty well. It was about 24 hours ago that he saved the ball game to get Texas here.
Really good hitter up now, Keitaro Miyahara, the shortstop. He started off yesterday's game for Japan, their win over Mexico, with a 9-pitch at bat, which ended in a home run. That one is ripped to third. Oh boy, Colin Ross fires it over. And that was a bullet down there to third.
Show it off, Colin Ross.
That ball caught him a little bit. Yeah. That was hit so hard.
And he's got plenty of time. He takes 2 or 3 shuffles to make sure the feet are moving before he makes this throw. But watch when he finally lets it go. That is a seed over to first base. Mark McKenna on the receiving end of this one. Well played over there.
Second baseman Ryusei Fujiwara fouls that one out of play. So a home run early in this game for Texas in what has been a baseball year of home runs. Spencer and Ditsworth, they hit 2 in the first. .50 home runs for Stanton. We had the major leaguers here earlier this week from the Cardinals and the Pirates, all part of a phenomenal, unforgettable day at the Little League World Series. They played their Major League Baseball Little League Classic Sunday at Bowman Field down the road. We had our Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown, and of course Booney, Jess Mendoza, Dan Schulman did the game.
It was a special week and a special day with all the big leaguers here. The interaction between big leaguers, little leaguers. It was a heartwarming experience for all of us.
Fujiwara, Ross cut it off, stumbles, no play. And probably a pretty smart play not to throw it.
That's a good point, because you can get caught up in that one right now and try to make a throw that physically you just can't make if you're on your way down. The right move to try to cut that ball off.
Yes.
Ross coming all the way across. We've already seen the arm, but he just kind of catches a spike on the way by, and then right there, good idea to put it in your pocket. At that point, the only thing that can happen is that ball to potentially go down the right field line.
Number 3 hitter, Seiya Arai, the catcher. So again, Texas goes into this game without their top 3 pitchers available. Ditsworth, who we saw homer, Ross, and McKenna at first. Their top 3 pitchers, none of whom can pitch. This one might be playable. Kovar over at the wall. Oh, in and out of the glove. Nearly had it. Good try.
Yeah, great effort down there by Kovar, who's obviously dealing with the wall down there. He finds out where it is. He does a good job of understanding exactly where he is. He times his jump perfectly, just off the heel of the glove, though.
in the dirt. It's stopped by the catcher, but it stays there, and down to second base goes Fujiwara.
Good job by Fujiwara. Even if Spencer finds that ball right away,
yeah,
Fujiwara read it so well that he would have been into second base easily.
Base runner can't leave the bag until the ball crosses the home plate. That one is sent foul down the line on a good hack from Array. Started Little League in 1939, where a local named Carl Stotts looked around, saw his nephews with a ball, and said, we got to do something about this. Said, let's form a Little League. Let's play some baseball. And that's the roots of what has now become such a huge deal. On the ground to short, one place to first. A little slow on that. The ball sort of stayed in the grass, and everybody is safe.
Well, the speed of Arai here, just too much. It's not hit overly hard. Good job by Fujiwara here of knowing that the shortstop had to go to his left enough. He reads it perfectly, so he's able to get to third base, and there's no play there. And Slaga just not as crisp as he needed to be to get that ball out of his glove, and the speed of Arai too much.
Well, Fujiwara's base running, that's his second straight time. If he doesn't take second base on that ball in the dirt, that's absolutely one out. It's probably not two because of the speed of Arai getting out first base, but still, base running has been great for Fujiwara so far.
Fouled at the plate. No foul, and the run from third comes in. Oh, I thought that was a foul ball. That's what the catcher's saying too. I thought I heard a foul. You?
Yeah, I thought it was foul right off the bat.
We got a chance to take another look at it. Coach Maddox making his way out. He's going to ask the home plate umpire, Christopher Rutz.
This is a reviewable play here, and they will go take a look at this.
You could hear something.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Ball clearly changed direction too.
Now, obviously, Arai will now have to go back to first. It looked to me like, despite the foul ball, that Arai was going. So they have that play on first and third. So we'll see how Texas tries to defend it.
Foul! Runner back to third! So the runner goes back to third. And as this inning unfolds, just consider you had a real tough play. Ross almost had an out, and there was almost another out down the left field line, but instead only one out and two on. So a couple of really close plays Texas couldn't convert on. Allows this inning to continue to build.
And that's what we've seen Japan be able to take advantage of time and again throughout this Little League World Series. Plays not made against him that could have been.
Natsuki Yajima's the first baseman. He's hitting .538. Some huge numbers against some great competition. That one's in the dirt, and back to first base goes the runner Arai.
Good job by Chandler Spencer, because if he doesn't catch that ball on the block, if it gets away at all, the base runner Arai is standing at second base. He was about 5 steps off the bag, just reading where the ball ended up.
On the ground to third. They'll go to first. In the dirt, throw back to third. Wow, so they prevent the run, and a good job by both Requena on the scoop and Ross to look back the runner.
Okay, so it starts with Ross because you got to field this ball first, but the arm strength around the diamond, and specifically the arm strength of Ross, which they've already seen in this inning, is the very reason why the base runner doesn't go anywhere. These are 60-feet bases, and it gets over to first base so quick that Fujiwara, who we've already seen is active on the base pass, has to stay put on that throw across the diamond.
Array advanced to second, so second and third with 2 down for Ryota Ono. First pitch is a ball.
Although, Kyle, I still believe Ross should have gone to second base with that ball and tried to get that lead runner. You set up that force. Maybe the run scores, but I don't think you could have anticipated that.
Good pitch, 2-1.
Well, the good thing with Chip Buchanan, as we talked about, finished the game yesterday to get him here so he's comfortable in the big spot here. And so far, he's doing what they want asked, and that's throw strikes.
Got a chance to get out of this inning without giving up a run. Old Chipper, whose real name is Jeffrey, which is his dad's name, but he goes by Chip just to differentiate between parent and son. And of course, he said he was a chip off the old block. Now trying to get out of this one with a 2-2 pitch. He will do it. Attaboy, Texas, and Chip Buchanan go back to the dugout with 2 men on and 2 men left. That's a rarity.
Chipper with a changeup right here and a big one. So you know that Japan's going to be dialed up for the fastball. 2-strike count, first strikeout of the game is huge. Texas 2-0 early.
Donnie, I brought you up here to talk to you about my underwear.
That makes sense.
The breathable boxer briefs from Fruit of the Loom. They have tiny holes to allow airflow and keep you cool.
And tiny holes really make that big of a difference?
Thought you might ask me that, so I put a bunch of tiny holes in your parachute.
Huh, air really does get through there. Thanks for such a contextual demonstration. But how do I...
Buy them online?
Yeah.
You just click here.
Easy.
Breathable boxer briefs from Fruit of the Loom.
Howdy. Hey. Here we go. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
That's not your car.
Car's ready.
Wrong car.
Isn't that your car? I would love to take it, but no. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. You guys want to check it out?
Someone else's car.
This is beautiful. What is this?
It's the all-new Chevy Equinox.
This feels like a luxury SUV.
I love this little 360. How do they even do that?
I made a bad decision on my last car purchase.
Well, your car's here.
Bummer. Bummer.
Wah, wah. I'm ready for an upgrade.
Hello, Discover Card. Hi, can you tell me about these new Social Security alerts I keep hearing about? Sure. Just sign up online. Then we'll alert you if we find your Social Security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. Wow, that's cool. How much is it? Oh, it's free if you have a Discover Card. I like free. Yeah, we just want you to be in the know. Oh, hey, sushi. Oh, I smell it. You're making me... Yeah, being in the know is a good thing.
Know if your Social Security number is found on risky sites. Free from Discover.
Don't miss MLS Heineken Rivalry Week. Where do you stand? Today on ESPN, it's Montreal versus Toronto.
The U.S. Open begins tomorrow on the networks of ESPN.
Style, spirit, swag. Welcome to Players Weekend. Sunday Night Baseball. Mets Nationals tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Summon Terragon the Bird. He's at the podiatrist.
Going into battle without the best team? Bad fantasy. Drafting your team from anywhere? Good fantasy. Sign up now at ESPN.com/goodfantasy.
Look what you just made me do.
Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
For it. Hit or miss, win or lose. It's the trying that matters most to them. Some can't bear to watch, while others don't dare to blink. The Falcons at the Little League World Series.
You cannot do any of this without the parents, that's for sure, and the siblings and their support. For more on that, here's Julie.
I'm actually with Chandler Spencer's mom, Beverly, who, guys, in her own right is a phenomenal player. Texas high school state champion in softball 20 years ago. Give it up for that, Beverly. How's that to watch your son step up to bat, first batter, first pitch out of the park?
He's been waiting for this one, and to do it on the first pitch of the World Series is just too exciting, too exciting. So proud of him.
You've spent a lot of time working with him, pitching with him, catching for him. Does he understand how good a player Mom is?
I don't think he really did, but recently we had our 20-year reunion for our softball team, and he came with me, and I kind of thought he would be bored or whatever. So when we left, I asked him, I said, how was that? And he said it was actually pretty interesting. He said, I kind of see, you know, that this wasn't all a lot of hype that you just gave me over the years. So it was, you know.
He had that moment of enlightenment. This is what Mom did. Right. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jules. Eventually your kids will know what you did too, Julie. It's one of those transitions when you become a mom or dad, you know, especially moms, because they tend to be home more often than dads. You just assume that's all you do and that's who you are. And there was no life before being a mom.
Wow, Mom, I had no idea you could really play.
Right.
You got a good arm, Mom.
Good for Chandler and good for Mom for bringing Chandler to that event. How about a rare walk here? So Tsubasa Tomii now has the leadoff man on here in the second.
Start, roll Lufkin.
Another look at that swing. First pitch of the game. Chandler Spencer getting on that high fastball. Those eyes light up, and there's Mom going, "What did you just do, son?" Yes, you did.
Twins Logan and Lane, who are both 9 right there, bookending Mom. And now Christian Mumphrey, who is a good hitter. He hit 2 home runs in a game earlier this week against Connecticut. And guys, if you think about it, the last 4 innings now, Lufkin, Texas has scored 2 runs. They did it in the last 3 innings yesterday, 2 runs in each, and now 2 runs in the first.
Guys, you've hit 11 home runs in this tournament. I mean, that's by far and away more than anybody else. And 6 different guys on this team have hit home runs.
And I'm sure the feeling down there for Texas is that they've got to continue to score runs.
Yep.
They probably feel like they need to score a bunch of runs today if they're going to have a chance to beat Japan.
Our guy, C. Mumps at the plate, is a member of the MVP program, which is the middle school volunteer program. And that group goes around and helps the elderly. It volunteers for different community projects like cleaning, etc. So C. Mumps has been a star here, but he's a way bigger star off the field back in Lufkin.
Awesome, awesome stuff.
I'll give you the fake bump. Get in there, go to the signal, know what they are. Let's go.
Little League University providing free educational information online for the coaches, umps, league volunteers, and parents. Watch videos, review practice plans. Visit littleleagueuniversity.org today. This is the shortstop, Blake Slaga. Fastball goes right by him.
Pretty execution right here. I mean, a few breaking balls away, and so as a right-handed hitter, Blake Slaga, you have to be thinking they're going to go away, and then just perfect 2-seam fastball on the inside part of the plate. It's tough to pull the trigger on that one.
Ball. This is the left fielder, Colby Kovar. So you got 5-1 against 5-2. Each one pushing 100. That's a good pitch on the corner. Good swing. Just underneath it, and Kovar now is behind 1-2. 2 strikes. That's it. Couple of strikeouts and a little settle-in inning for Tsubasa Tomii. 1.5 in the books, the Little League World Series championship game. And this presentation of the Little League World Series will continue after this message and a quick word from our ABC stations.
Yo! We making it our way!
Many teams have started to change their names.
Check these out.
making my own wave. I ain't riding no waves. Too busy making my own wave, baby. Surfing on my own wave, baby. Surfing on my own wave. Too busy making my own wave. I ain't riding no wave.
Every stitch is a part of me. All these shapes and designs express our devotion to craftsmanship. I want people to feel our passion when they touch it and when they drive it.
The all-new Mazda CX-5.
Next stop, Dallas. Live for Giants Cowboys.
This crowd is so fired up.
First Take, live from Dallas, September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Play the #1 fantasy football game. Sign up now at ESPN.com/goodfantasy.
Don't miss MLS Heineken Rivalry Week. Where do you stand? Today on ESPN, it's Montreal versus Toronto.
Sunday Night Baseball, Mets Nationals, tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Monday Night Football is back. Saints Vikings at 6:55. Then Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
Look what you just made me do.
This is the Dyson V8 cord-free vacuum, and this is its Dyson digital motor, generating powerful suction to deep clean carpets, hard floors, clean up high, and convert to a handheld, to dig deep on stairs, furniture, mattresses, and cars, all with up to 40 minutes runtime.
Try Dyson V8 at home with a 90-day money-back guarantee.
The program's so special for the millions of kids around the world. They extend their appreciation to the official sponsors, Dick's Sporting Goods and Honda, who help maintain the strength and leadership of the Little League program. Well, up the hill, of course, is the Hall of Fame, Hall of Excellence here at the Little League World Series site. That's that building right there. And inducted this year, Angel Macias, the only pitcher to ever throw a perfect game in the Little League Baseball World Series, and a major influence in the growth of baseball in Mexico. That's Sydney Leroux. Before she was scoring goals for U.S. women's soccer, she was scoring runs. She played in Canada for the Wally Little League team from '95 to '04. And Champ Peterson, who was born with Down syndrome, he is the younger brother of Jock Peterson. And with his enshrinement into the 2017 Little League Hall of Excellence, Champ Peterson becomes the first ever graduate of the Little League Challenger Division to earn such an honor. And we see you out there, Champ. Yeah. He ran all the way out to center field and relished in the moment, touching the bust of Howard Lomedy, of course, who this stadium is named after. That was cool. Brings some chills to your spine moment.
Yeah. Gave a great speech.
Yep.
And then took off on a dead sprint out to center field. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. Congratulations to all the inductees into the Hall of Excellence here at Williamsport and Little League World Series. At bottom two, Yuya Nakajima, the American Dream, starting things off. And he pulls one foul. Remember, Chip Buchanan came in to pitch yesterday, and the only way you can come back one day after you pitch is to throw fewer than 20 pitches, and he only threw 17 pitches yesterday to end that game. On the ground, hard to short, fielded cleanly, and a good play by Blake Slaga. Very, very good. Julie?
Hey, Carl, look who I found in the stands here. Mark Teixeira, fancy finding you at this wonderful place. What are your first impressions of it so far?
This is so much fun. I mean, what an event. I mean, these kids are having a blast. I'm having a blast. I mean, that first inning was so exciting. Seeing the 2 home runs just brings back some great memories of me playing youth baseball.
Yeah, what are those great memories? Give us some of that juice, Mark.
You know, the first time I hit a home run, I'll always remember I was 11 years old. I hit a home run right down the line, and I'm like, this is the coolest feeling in the world. You know, growing up watching major leaguers do it, then you finally get to do it.
You and Carl playing a little hooky here at Williamsport. I like to see it. All right, boys.
Attaboy, Tex. Of course, our Partner on our Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown show. And really good to see Tex enjoying this one as we watch Tomi'i bat.
Saw a picture Tex posted today on social media, and just that overwhelming feeling you have even as a big league ball player coming back to this place, seeing this place for the first time. It really is special, and as you touched on in the open, it's a bucket list place.
Wow, how about the left side of the infield for Texas? Slaga and Ross.
Guys, we were talking about this off air before the game. And I think part of this, Japan is going to make contact, and they're probably going to make some hard contact. And for Texas, sometimes they got to hit them at you, or at least close enough. And defensively, you have to be able to make the plays. And they have been stellar so far. Goes backhand side right there. 2 great plays on 2 hard-hit balls here for quick outs in the second inning.
2 backhand plays, Slaga and Ross. And now we're the number 8 hitter, Kaz Watanabe. One of the overarching observations Little League World Series this year, every team from Italy to Australia to South Korea to all the United States teams, they all saw fastballs, were not intimidated by the velocity at all, and for the most part made good contact. When you get rid of that 70-mile-an-hour guy and you start somebody that throws in the 60s with some breaking pitches and off-speed stuff, sometimes that can be a little unsettling for an offense.
And it's definitely a change of pace here with Buchanan. And the one thing you love about Buchanan is, and we've touched on it, is he seems to be unflappable in these big moments. And he's just out there trying to fill up the strike zone with all of his pitches. We've seen him do that already so far.
And we've seen a lot of the left side of the infield. We haven't even seen our guy Malcolm Deason out there at second do anything yet.
He'll chime in at some point. You know he's going to be heard from.
3-0, that one misses. Watanabe sprints down to first base after a walk.
And it could be Deason, Malcolm Deason out there at second base, could be the guy that we see in relief.
Yep.
At some point, if Buchanan can't finish or if he gets into trouble, he's probably the number 2 guy in line this afternoon.
To first, and it gets by Requena into right field. Watanabe will stop there, and they got 2 on, so that's the number 8 hitter with the walk and the 9 hitter with a single, and now you're back up to the top of the order.
Yeah, and that's Japan. Even though they haven't dented that scoreboard yet, putting runners on base, giving themselves an opportunity here, and a little 2-out rally at the bottom of the order, as you see a sharp single there to right, and setting the stage now for their captain, the guy they look to, Keitaro Miyahara.
Leader on the field, his dad is the guy you just saw there and heard, Yoichi. First pitch inside. There's his dad, seated perhaps when Keitaro bats. He loved that home run his son hit yesterday. And he's hoping to explode again.
It seemed like every time he's been up there, he's hit it hard somewhere.
Yes. Kick off this game about as hard as you can hit a ball to third base. The vacuum cleaner down there right now.
That one is ripped. That one by is decent. It goes all the way to the wall. Watanabe is going to score. Rounding third, Ichisawa, he's being waved in. Requena cuts it off. We're tied at 2 on a triple for Keitaro Miyahara.
Well, the words are out of your mouth, Kyle, and it's another rocket off the bat of Miyahara. Really no chance for Deason to even get down. The one thing, when this ball skips off the wall, probably should have known there was going to be no play at home plate, and maybe you come up, if you throw to third base there, you might have a play down there.
So we talk about their defense and the time it's spent on that. Their routes around the base pass that time were absolutely perfect. Everybody hitting the inside part of the bag. The lines to the following base were as direct as you could possibly get it. That's well done right there, because this inning started 2 outs, nobody on.
And now Ryusei Fujiwara, and he fouls one off. Is it any surprise, by the way, that Keitaro, who hit that triple, his dad's the cheerleader over there, is a phys ed teacher in junior high, and he teaches gymnastics. Anybody surprised by that?
That seems to be a pretty good fit. But that's a loud class.
Off speed, and Fujiwara misses that one.
It's just so great coming here and seeing the different cultures and seeing how they celebrate their kids, celebrate baseball. And Japan is fun as any, watching them and how they conduct themselves.
I think right now the goal is to yell really loud. That's the group that's seated up past the right field foul pole and up against the fence in left field. We've been really fortunate to have such nice weather here the last couple of days. High 0-2 pitch. And Fujiwara will not offer at that. Pass ball, wild pitch with a runner on third is all but a run. As soon as it gets by the catcher, you'll see Miyahara break if it happens.
Right here.
Fujiwara, who always shaves his head for good luck, as we get an awesome look of this impressive place from up above. Always shaves his head before the game. I didn't get to see him without his helmet on yet to see if he did that for good luck.
Tell you, that one missed, but I like the approach. Almost every hitter from Japan is all the way on top of the plate. So if you're throwing the ball middle away, that's like a pitch right down the middle to him. If you can execute that fastball in, which Chip Buchanan has tried to do, I think it's a pretty good place to be.
2-2. He fouls it back up this way. His nickname, Fujiwara, is Mount Fuji. And like so many of the kids from Japan, and really all 16 of the teams, he was most looking forward to hanging around and meeting the other kids from other countries at the Little League World Series Village, the Grove. What a time they had this week. Gets jammed again. Hey, one thing Buchanan's doing, he is locating his pitches. You know, he's moving in and out and up and down.
And it's not easy. After a guy hits the ball all the way to the wall, it's not easy to convince yourself to throw the pitch in that spot. Or he's trying to throw that fastball in the inside part of the plate, because the room for error, if you just miss in, you're going to hit him. If you miss over the plate, they might get you. But he's done a great job of believing in that pitch.
2-2. Deason's got to go get it. He can't. It drops over his head. And Japan's got a 3-2 lead. A good two-strike hit right there from Fujiwara.
It's a great job of hitting, because to your guys' point, Chip Buchanan is out there executing pitches, and he does here as well. They come back in on the hands, and Fujiwara just real short and just kind of fights it off, and strong enough to dump it out there over the head of Deason and give Japan the lead here now in the second inning.
Seiya Ore, catcher, singled his first time up. Swings a little late. If that's a foul ball to play.
But what I love about Chip Buchanan, the way he's going about it here, is he seems very emotionless out on the mound, meaning he's really just focused in on the next pitch. So if something great happens, if something doesn't go his way, it doesn't affect the next pitch. And I think that's something he's done very well, not only seeing him in the field and at the plate, but now on the mound.
Pitch count rising, though, 43 only in the bottom of the second inning, and you can throw 85. So all the foul balls that we're seeing here, and there have been 15 foul balls. So if you think about it, that's 15 more pitches.
I think that's the one thing that Japan probably does better than anybody here, is spoil pitches that are usually outs.
And given the pitching depth that Japan has, and the fact that the top three pitchers for Texas are not available, the longer Buchanan can go, the better. And here we are halfway to 85 in the bottom of the second. Another 0-2 count. Yeah, they spoil him, huh? Keep track of the foul balls today.
物だったら何？
ライオン。
ダンスして。もう少し質問していい？
Well done.
So great. So great. 21 Questions has been a smash hit this year as you've gotten a real peek into the minds of a variety of 13 and 12-year-olds here at the Little League World Series. And how about the joy that Japan, that's one thing that's changed over the years. I've been here about 14 years, and boy, have they become a more approachable group. It's really outstanding.
The 21 Questions, you know, has been one of my favorite things here.
Yes.
You know, with Julie, with all the kids, and I think that one's
that's your new favorite?
my new favorite
Is it?
right there. That's the first time I've seen that one. I love that.
All right, we're back to the top of the order. Spencer, he led things off with a home run. And now for the first time, Texas trails in this one 3-2. Third inning of 6. Good pitch.
That's pretty darn good. You do that 2 times in a row, and that one missed inside. But we are on the mound, and you see somebody hanging out over the plate. Sometimes it's almost hard to convince yourself that you can throw it in the spot that you want to on the inside.
Especially when a guy has already homered
Absolutely.
off you.
Good eye. One thing about Spencer, he is balanced at the plate. He looks
really
real
is.
comfortable. Chan the Man is a nickname. Chandler Spencer. Again, we heard about his mom and what a great athlete she was when she was younger. He also plays basketball. He's a point guard. He's a fisherman for bass, and he went fishing for that one, and he strikes out. Hey, Sunday Night Baseball, the National League East leading Washington Nationals hosting the Mets tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Please join us with Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown on ESPN, followed by the game at 8, both streaming live on the ESPN app. Marlins aren't going to catch the Nationals, but Stanton hit his 50th today. Giancarlo Stanton's 50th home run. They're back in the wild card race.
Marlins are back in that race.
There they are. The American League wild card race is great. The National League wild card race is improving. The NL Central race has been great.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun in the month of September watching these races unfold.
Malcolm Deason.
Pitcher.
Dad Malcolm Sr. down there, coach at first base. One of the highlight moments of the Little League World Series was when Malcolm was told he had to go warm up.
I gotta pee, coach.
just an eye roll from the coach at that point.
The look after that was absolutely priceless.
Good take, let's go. That wasn't something you swinging at.
Center field, and Watanabe is positioned beautifully. Good swing, but an out off the bat of Deason.
Well, Tomi'i is really starting to dial it in from a command, and you're right, that's a good swing by Malcolm Deason. Just too well located of a pitch, staying away from that power, and just can't quite get behind it enough. But Tomi'i really settling in now with all his pitches.
Some modern day Vlad Guerrero right here, Hunter Ditzworth. There's not a pitch he won't swing at, and as we saw in the first, if he hits it and elevates it, it's going over the wall here. The fencer's 225 feet away, Julie.
Carl Hunter, as we know all week, has been talking about his glove. He even named her Bree, and how much he creates a chair for her, and he straps her in the car next to her. She showers just outside his shower. Well, I have breaking news. There's been an advancement in the Bree story. She's learned how to take her first 3 steps, the team told me.
So Bree is now a walking glove. Terrific. All right, Julie, thank you. Julie and Seb continue reporting as we take a look at some of the fans having a blast here. Bittersweet day, the end of Little League. Whoa! Little League Baseball. Gorilla Guy.
Look out below.
Yo! We making our own way!
Many teams have started to change their names.
Check these out.
I ain't riding no waves. Too busy making my own wave. I ain't riding no waves. Too busy making my own wave, baby. Surfing on my own wave, baby. Surfing on my own wave. Too busy making my own wave. I ain't riding no wave.
We asked premium vehicle owners to judge 3 premium SUVs, not knowing the brands.
Nice and responsive.
The leather, the material, feels very well crafted.
This one is by far my favorite. I really like the bold lines.
Mazda. I did not expect that.
This is the one that I would want to drive every day.
Discover a smarter premium at the Driver's Choice event.
Now get 0% financing plus no payments for 90 days on all new 2017 Mazda CUVs.
Tomorrow on the networks of ESPN.
Going into battle without the best team? Bad fantasy. Drafting your team from anywhere? Good fantasy. Sign up now at ESPN.com/goodfantasy.
Don't miss MLS Heineken Rivalry Week. Where do you stand? Today on ESPN, it's Montreal versus Toronto.
Sunday Night Baseball, Mets Nationals, tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Look what you just made me do.
First Take, live from Dallas, September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
This is the Dyson V8 cord-free vacuum, and this is its Dyson digital motor, generating powerful suction to deep clean carpets, hard floors, clean up high, and convert to a handheld, to dig deep on stairs, furniture, mattresses, and cars, all with up to 40 minutes runtime.
Try Dyson V8 at home with a 90-day money-back guarantee.
The Little League World Series on ABC, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, is brought to you by the all-new Odyssey from Honda, official vehicle of Little League.
Honda celebrating over 20 years of Little League partnership. This year, Honda salutes the home team heroes, the family members and friends that support their Little Leaguers. And for those home team members, Honda providing transportation for the Little League World Series. See Dugout enjoying that service. See the Honda folks, some great folks who've been seeing them around for a long, long time. And every year they come back. It's one of those places that kind of grabs hold of you. When you get here once, you're like, okay, I want to go back, and I want to go back, and I want to go back. Because as familiar as it is, you know, the names change, the faces changed. Different Little Leaguers from different parts of the globe. And yet the experience never fails. Never. Never. Team that just lost a game today. See how bummed out they are?
Yeah, they're all right.
Mexico lost a game today. Devastated. Not. However, they do stay away from the hill while they're competing, and now that the games are over, they can get up there and slide down. That one to third. Nice play by Colin Ross. Mexico was eliminated yesterday.
What a day so far down there at the hot corner for Colin Ross. Goes to his knees there to stab that liner. And as Kyle said, if you're going to hang in there, if you're going to beat this Japan team, you've got to make the plays, even the tough ones, because they are going to put it in play, and usually with authority.
Riku Goto. He is one of the pinch hitters, substitute players for Japan. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. They traveled 14 from Tokyo here to Williamsport. And this is a Little League team that's gotten the benefit of coming to the United States. They had a tournament in California. Ooh, rough swing there. They got a chance to meet Yu Darvish. Quite an experience for the kids. They went down to Pittsburgh where the Dodgers were playing, and this week, and they got a chance to hang out with Yu. So that was Ruku Goto, who pitched yesterday. This is Ryota Kono, who's 0 for 4 at the Little League World Series. So they try to clear some of their bench players, get him in this game. That pitch.
Yeah, that changeup he's featuring has maybe been his best pitch today. It's what got him the strikeout, even though they couldn't complete the out. And there's a good first pitch where he's got Kono way out in front of it.
I think what you're seeing is kids at this age are not used to seeing changeups.
Yeah, right. Great.
If they start throwing an off-speed pitch, and I wish they were used to seeing changeups, because I think it's a great off-speed pitch to teach kids at this age. I think it's easier to throw and it's easier on their arm. But at the end of the day, they're used to seeing that one, the one that spins the other way. So it's off speed, but it's moving the same way as that fastball. That's when you've seen those right-handers take that swing that they almost jump at the end.
On the ground to second, Deason flips to short for 1, and that's all they're going to get. Thought for a second Malcolm might try to tag the runner and throw him out at first, but made the smart play by flipping to the shortstop.
Yeah, another change up there and not hit very hard. There wasn't going to be a chance to turn 2 here, so good job by Slaga of handling that throw, making sure he held the bag. And now you got 2 outs and keep that force play intact.
Bottom of the third, they used their third bench player, Ryota Inoue. He squared to bunt. That's in there for a strike. Nakajima, who just came in as a special pinch runner, gets his foot back in time at first. Another strike. So Inoue has found himself in a hole 0-2. Buchanan has done a tremendous job getting ahead of hitters.
His walk just 1.
Well, like every Little League team, Japan loves to spend as much time as they can hitting the baseball. And yet, as you learn from their coaches, they spend roughly 5 hours on fielding every practice.
I'll tell you this, these kids from Texas are spending a lot of time on fielding themselves, because they've had some beauties all the way around the diamond today.
Five hours.
That's a lot.
The power of repetition.
No doubt.
They believe in it. They live it.
Inoue has gone 0 for 1 at the Little League World Series.
2 strikes.
He's choking way up on that bat with 2 strikes on him. And the shortstop's calling it, and Slaga's getting it. Nothing across for Japan here in the third. How are we feeling up there? There you go. Hop back on that board and go. We'll continue this presentation of the Little League World Series after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
They'll catch glimpses here and there of the play on the field, but it's hard to take in the action when you're moving yourself. You can't blame them, really.
Andre is an air traffic controller. When it comes to planning the best routes, nobody does it better. He's also a championship-winning football coach. Look at that formation. But when it comes to mortgages, he's less confident. Fortunately for Andre, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so he can understand the details and be sure he's getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
We asked premium vehicle owners to judge 3 premium SUVs, not knowing the brands.
Nice and responsive.
The leather, the material, feels very well crafted.
This one is by far my favorite. I really like the bold lines.
Mazda. I did not expect that.
This is the one that I would want to drive every day.
Discover a smarter premium at the Driver's Choice event.
Now get 0% financing plus no payments for 90 days on all new 2017 Mazda CUVs.
Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
What you just made me do.
The U.S. Open begins tomorrow on the networks of ESPN.
First Take, live from Dallas, September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Welcome to Players Weekend. Style, spirit, swag. This one's personal. Sunday Night Baseball, Mets, Nationals. Tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Yeah, I knew Antonio Brown was on bye this week.
Finding out your best players on bye after kickoff? That's bad fantasy. Getting alerts you need before kickoff? Good fantasy. Sign up now at ESPN.com/goodfantasy.
Don't miss MLS Heineken Rivalry Week. Where do you stand? Today on ESPN, it's Montreal versus Toronto.
La di da di da di da. Dum 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 dum.
This morning is our coverage of the Little League World Series is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. That bottom hill has been filled up to the tune of 26,000 today. Beginning in January of 2018, Little League's going to join other youth baseball organizations. They're going to adopt the new USA bat standard. If you want more information on this, visit littleleague.org/bat info. Colin Ross leads things off, and he sees a slow one in there, and he misses it. That whole bat thing, that's to help with the ball bouncing off the bat, right? Protection for kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's to standardize even more, even though Little League's been way out in front of this thing, just to make sure that the exit velocity of the baseball is controllable. I mean, we've seen it here plenty, guys. I mean, you get kids that are this size that come in here, and it makes sense.
Three home runs for Ross. That one's down and away. What a difference the first inning has made compared to the others. Tsubasa Tomi'i has really settled in. He retired his last 6, 8 of his last 9, and 6 by strikeouts of those 9 with just 1 walk.
Good take.
As Yogi used to say, it gets late early here. When you got 6 innings and you're in the 4th, it gets late kind of early. (3-1) end of the bat. It's going to be playable. Just missed it. And Ono is there to make the play. Down to Sebastian.
Guys, Kitasuna last won it all here in 2015, and our starting pitcher Tsubasa Tomi'i is like borderline obsessed with the video from that 2015 championship game against Redland Little League of Pennsylvania. He's watched it over 100 times, knows every word of the broadcast, and I will remind you, Japan fell behind in that game 10-2 before rallying to win it 18-11. So if anyone was unfazed by that early, now erased deficit here for Japan, it was Tsubasa.
Sure.
That's a good point, and it just looked that way on his face. I mean, 2 of the first 3 guys hit the ball out of the ballpark, and this place was a lot louder than it is right now. And if there was any time that you would expect to see any change in emotion, it would be then, and it did not happen, and it hasn't happened.
Mark Rakenna bats. He's been there hitting hot guy. He goes the other way a lot. What I love about Tomi'i on the mound is they've got some big kids on this team, and yet their ace is one of the smaller guys on the team. It sends a real positive, powerful message to everybody else. You don't have to be the 6'1" guy who's throwing 100 to be so good.
He is a master at his craft.
He really is.
And you've been watching him all week, whether it's been in the game, whether it's been warming up in the bullpen, just mechanically so sound. gathers so much power for a 105, 5'1" little kid. But the absolute command of all his pitches is why he remained confident even after a couple long home runs off the bat for Texas.
Likes this sign, and here's the pitch. It worked. McKenna to first. And that was a great little illustration of how Array cleared himself a little bit to give himself a throwing lane.
It did, and it was a good job by Najima, the first baseman, to get all the way to that side of the batter, too, to get that right foot on the outside part of first base. So his entire body's in foul territory. Now we've got a much bigger target. So you're not as prone to throwing that ball back into the runner if your first baseman's body is all the way in foul territory.
We've got to get the info from Sebastian. Which broadcast is he listening to 100 times?
And knows word for word
that's
what it is.
That's troubling. If it's this broadcast, that would be a bit troubling. Poor kid, if that's the case. Should apologize after. Hard on the ground to short. How about the way Miyahara stayed down on that ball? Tomi'i is locked in right now as he comes off the field again. Texas, 2 homers, 2 hits in the first. Time for a little hot dog. Where's Foudy? That's a Foudy dog. Oh, all right, we're good with that.
This is the Dyson V8 cord-free vacuum, and this is its Dyson digital motor, generating powerful suction to deep clean carpets, hard floors, clean up high, and convert to a handheld, to dig deep on stairs, furniture, mattresses, and cars, all with up to 40 minutes runtime.
Try Dyson V8 at home with a 90-day money-back guarantee.
During our Made to Move 2017 clearance event, you can do endless online research, or you can take advantage of our best offer ever on an XT5. Don't wait. Our 2017 models will be moving fast. You can drive a car, or you can drive a Cadillac. Come in now before the end of our Made to Move 2017 clearance event and leave with the perfect Cadillac XT5 for your next adventure. Choose a low mileage lease on this XT5 for around $339 per month.
The U.S. Open begins tomorrow on the networks of ESPN.
First Take, live from Dallas, September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Welcome to Players Weekend. Style, spirit, swag. This one's personal. Sunday Night Baseball, Mets, Nationals. Tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Going into battle without the best team? Bad fantasy. Drafting your team from anywhere? Good fantasy. Sign up now at ESPN.com/goodfantasy.
Monday Night Football is back. Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
What you just made me do.
Do you mean like a funnel?
Little League World Series, young and old, spanning generations, is our Honda game summary. Has it 3-2. Miyahara had that big triple, knocked in a couple, and a couple of home runs in the first inning. Texas jumped on top. And here we go to the bottom of the fourth, and it feels like every inning you're kind of tightrope walking if you're Texas. 8-9-1 due up for Japan. Ouch. Called strike and
Yeah, he swung at that pitch. So that's the right call. If you swing at the pitch and it hits you, that's what they're saying there. You hate to see it, but it is the right call there.
I think what Junji Hidaka is saying is that no, he didn't swing.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did. Started the swing and then he saw the ball come to him, and I think in an effort to even stop it, he went way past what would be considered a swing. At least it looked that way, and this one is not a reviewable play. But I think we're looking just further clarification.
I mean, I think you have to say he swung at that pitch there, even though at the end he's clearly just committed and trying to hold up a little bit. But
that's a tough little dude now, because I mean that hit him right on the inside of that knee.
Yes.
They've been made aware that it's not a reviewable. To the batter's box. Of kids, he's won a number of championships.
by Miyahara at second. There is no time to be anything but super fast.
That's a close play. I'm not sure he's out.
No, he may have beat it, but Booney's right. I mean, that you can't turn it any quicker than they did right there. And the other thing is the feet going to the shortstop. If it's off at all, there's no way that all of the movement gets into the throw that Miyahara had right there. I think he's going to end up safe right here, but still, that was pretty to see in motion.
And Phipps is excited down there at first base. Great hustle. Got down the line in a hurry, and he certainly had to with as efficiently as Japan turns it. Look at this. Ball's hit sharply. A good job of, first of all, fielding and then quickly getting rid of that ball in what was a perfect spot for Miyahara to turn it over quickly.
You know, and the other thing, too, because of where he had to field that ball, generally you're going to turn glove side, but momentum was taking him that way. So it's a throw that he doesn't have to make very much. That way to second base.
But the reason it looks so fluid and looks so smooth, yes, he's a talented player. Yes, he's good at baseball.
Spencer got jammed.
But all the hours they put into fielding, that turns into a somewhat of a routine play for them because of the repetition. What a performance by Tomi'i.
This presentation of the Little League World Series continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Degree has redefined deodorant with motion sense technology so that I can redefine power, footwork, range. And the more I move, the more it works, giving me superior protection on and off the court. Degree, it won't let you down.
La di da di da di da. Dum 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 dum.
Howdy. Hey. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's not your car. Car's ready.
Wrong car.
Isn't that your car? I would love to take it, but no. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. You guys want to check it out? Someone else's car.
This is beautiful. What is this?
It's the all-new Chevy Equinox.
This feels like a luxury SUV.
I love this little 360. How do they even do that?
I made a bad decision on my last car purchase.
Well, your car's here.
Bummer. Bummer.
Wah, wah. I'm ready for an upgrade.
What you just made me do.
Next up, Dallas, live for Giants Cowboys.
This crowd is so fired up.
First Take, live from Dallas, September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
The U.S. Open begins tomorrow on the networks of ESPN.
Welcome to Players Weekend. Style, spirit, swag. This one's personal. Sunday Night Baseball, Mets, Nationals. Tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Yeah, I knew Antonio Brown was on bye this week.
Finding out your best players on bye after kickoff? That's bad fantasy. Getting alerts you need before kickoff? Good fantasy. Sign up now at ESPN.com/goodfantasy.
The mighty Susquehanna at the top of the screen. ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
I love it when the Susquehanna gets into the broadcast.
Absolutely. Well, we are on the precipice of a historical victory here. If this Kitasuna Little League team can win the World Series, it'll be their fourth. And no other Little League has won more than 3. Ground ball to short. Slaga, oh, he went to throw it. And that's part of the pressure that this Japanese team puts on you. They bust out of the box, and we've seen that team speed Slaga may have been looking at first base before we saw the ball go into the glove.
Yeah, remember earlier a slow developing play and he had to rush and they beat it out. And I think that was in the back of his mind, just a little too quick coming up on that ball.
Now Tomi'i. That one is on the ground and it's through into left field. And stopping at second base. Nakajima, is it possible, guys, do you think that perhaps the Japanese style of play forces you almost to a level of perfection that you're maybe not accustomed to? You know, they speed the game up on you. You've got to make the perfect pitch a lot.
Yeah, I think one of those points is sometimes it can force you to play the game at a pace that maybe you're not comfortable playing at. It's usually the sign of a very good opponent on the other side.
Here's Hashimoto, he homered.
But to their credit, I think Texas done a great job of controlling that pace today.
Yep. Early in the week, when you had all 16 teams here, we went on a bit of a home run barrage. And as a result, 7 different players at the Little League World Series hit multiple home runs in a single game. Hashimoto is trying to become the 8th guy to hit 2 in a game. It's like a rash of 2 home runs broke out. Inoue is now a pinch runner down there at first. You become really adept at fielding short hops if you're a catcher here.
Those are 2 outstanding blocks in a row. A breaking ball first that he just kind of deadened, so no advancement. And there, their backhand on a fastball. Not an easy play. Keeping that force play in order.
Off the end of the bat, and Ross backpedals. Infield fly rule was called on that one as we send it to Sebastian.
Guys, you've mentioned Kitasuna's historic dominance at this event. It starts with this guy, the Godfather, 77-year-old Yoichi Kubo. He's the founder of Kitasuna Little League, longtime manager. Now, Yoichi tells us he wasn't that much of a baseball guy until he saw a postcard of Lamade Stadium in the 1970s. He said, I want to go there. So he founded Kitasuna in 1979. The rest is history. 6 trips here to Williamsport, the 3 world titles. And he may not be the manager anymore, guys, but he's still very much involved with this team. He addressed the group before practice this morning, told them this is your last game as Little Leaguers. Leave it all on the field. Guys, I was there. The kids were hanging on his every word.
I'm sure. Thanks, Sebastian. His son's one of the coaches on the team, but that goes back to that story we told at the top. 1978-79, he sees that picture of Lamade. How do we get there? He was part of that group that discovered this baseball field. It wasn't a baseball field. It was just sort of a dirt field. And you can see him hugging Miyahara, his dad, after the home run. They discovered this dirt patch on the grounds of a company, and they go in there and just start raking it, trying to turn it into a baseball field. And the owner of the company comes out and says, what are you doing? It's not your property. And he explained to him, we're trying to build a baseball field for our kids so we can go over to America and play in this Little League World Series. And lo and behold, here they are trying to win their 4th championship.
And who better to entrust your field to than some people from Japan and with a Little League team, and the reverence they have for baseball. And
hard for people to understand in this country. You know, even if you think about Central Park in New York, you could bring your glove and your ball and go throw the ball around.
Yep.
This one is into right field. That's a hit. Around third is Nakajima. Inoue goes to third himself, and men are on the corners. But again, Central Park in New York has fields. And if not, you can bring a ball and a glove. In Japan, as you look at that field in Kitasuna, in Japan, no other park are you allowed. There are signs that say no ball playing.
Oh, I mean, Central Park has baseball fields.
Yep.
I mean, youth baseball fields right in the middle of it, and that's, you were kind of hitting on it, Raph, but you can't just go play catch outside in a park in Japan. It's forbidden, and so these guys have to have a place to play, and clearly they've taken every advantage of it.
Almost 38 million people in the Tokyo area. So
here's Miyahara, and he has homered and tripled today, and he also was robbed of a hit by the third baseman Colin Ross in his first at bat. So he has squared up everyone, looking for his second home run of the game. Oh, off the wall, missed out there by Phipps. Miyahara goes into second, rounding third, and coming home, sliding in safe with the left hand, and a really good slide by Ichisawa. 10-2 Japan. Well, the game's not going to be long enough, but that's a double. We're a single shy of the cycle for Keitaro Miyahara.
How good is this kid, man? How good is this kid? I mean, the last time up, he gets hit by a pitch, ends up swinging, and then later on hits the ball out of the ballpark. Now right here, he misses it by about 2 feet. I mean, if that's just a little bit further, Miyahara has his second home run of the day, and that ball got in on him. I mean, he was trying to fight it off and still had enough power to get it that far.
In the dirt, Miyahara quickly to third, and now he's got to come in to score. This is what I mean about putting pressure on a team's defense and forcing you to be virtually perfect and thinking about things that you may not necessarily think about.
And it just kind of wears you down mentally, and that's what they've done this afternoon.
Well, they got themselves up by 9 if one team has a lead of 10 or more after the 4th inning, and obviously
been a pretty good summer, boys.
Yep.
I know it's hard to think about that right now. You turn around and look at
series by that team from Japan. You see Miyahara there overcome a little bit with emotion, but so good on the mound, so good defensively, and today really swung the bats against a team with depleted pitching going into today. But Texas, nothing to hang their heads about.
not as the United States Little League World Series champion. Absolutely not. Lufkin, Texas represents the United States all summer long, and they certainly do it here. But an historical win for this Kitasuna Little League. We've chronicled their stories. The 77-year-old former manager of this team, Kobu, all the folks from Japan who make the trip over here, the friends and the families, as they bow to the southwest side. Then they'll sprint out to center field and hop up on that wall and touch the bust of Howard Lamedy, who of course the stadium is named after. Put the brakes on before we get over there.
We got a little excited out there. Ran right through the line.
Last year, Japan, and look at Miyahara in front of everybody as the captain of that team.
Okay, so you want attention to detail. Even when we get to this point, they're lined up from tallest to shortest, left to right.
Yep. Yeah, they are.
I mean, even in the point of celebration, it's still, this is still rehearsed. They know exactly what to do.
I wonder if the conversation for that goes when we win the Little League World Series championship. This is how we're going to celebrate. Remember last year South Korea made it all the way to the championship. Japan came in and lost 2 games early. In the words of Bud.
All right, Lufkin on 3. Let's go.
Lufkin on 3. Lufkin on 3. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
All right.
Fantastic season for the Lufkin Little Leaguers. They didn't even have a Little League 6 years ago. Bud manages the regular season for the first time. Gets to be the coach of the All-Star team. Takes them to Williamsport on a ride they'll never, ever forget. We'll come back, wrap it up. Congratulations to the team from Kitasuna, the Little League out of Tokyo, Japan, on their 4th World Series championship.
Yo! We making our own way.